Good evening and welcome to TVB News. The government said that bodies could be stored in public hospitals' mortuaries free of charge for 28 days. Authorities on Saturday made a change from the initial 3-day proposal after a backlash against the suggestion. Most Night reports.
Under the new policy, bodies can be stored in public hospitals' mortuaries for up to 28 days without any charges. Starting from day 29, the daily charge is set at $200, whereas the fee will be $550 from day 36 onwards. The measure will be implemented on January 1st, 2026. Speaking to the media on Saturday, Secretary for Health Lo Chong-mao said the fee aims to reduce the occupancy rate of public hospitals' mortuaries. The hospital authority said that the number of patients passing away at public hospitals had reached 41,000 in 2024. Meanwhile, the usage rate of the 8 public mortuaries surpassed 100% in the peak season between February and May last year. The HA said more than 80% of bodies are stored in morgues for less than 28 days, while 10% would be qualified under a fee waiver mechanism, meaning the actual percentage of bodies that will be charged will be about 10%. When asked about the rationale behind the extension from 3 days to 28 days, the HA said it was because of public opinions.
Over the past few days, we noticed that there's a lot of different opinions on our mortuary charging scheme. We make appropriate improvement to the charging scheme so that it could benefit more patients, family members.
What do residents think of the U-turn?
I think 3 days is too short, so 28 days will be better. And there's a buffer for family members to arrange such an important event.
The Funeral Business Association said it welcomes the amended charging scheme, adding that it hopes channels are available for the sector to communicate more regularly with the government. The association says authorities should also streamline the mortuary procedures for deceased families, such as shortening the time hospitals take to issue relevant documents. Most Night, TVB News.
Today is Organ Donation Day. Secretary for Health Lo Chong-mao said the figure for those who have volunteered for the centralized organ donation register have reached a record high of 410,000. Lo and other health officials, including the hospital authority's chief executive, Libby Lee, and director of health, Ronald Lam, attended an event promoting organ donation. The Secretary for Health said there are currently around 2,500 people in the city that are in need of an organ transplant. He added that while advanced medical devices are available, many patients require essential organs in order to survive. Lo hopes the annual donation day can generate awareness and urge more residents to register and spread human kindness. President Xi Jinping will attend the National Games opening ceremony in Guangdong's provincial capital tomorrow night. According to Xinhua News Agency, the 15th National Games will kick off at 8 p.m. on Sunday at the Guangzhou Olympic Sports Center Stadium, where President Xi will be present and announce its opening. For the first time in history, the country's premier multi-sport event is staged jointly by Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau. Chief Executive John Lee and Chief Secretary for Administration Eric Chan will attend the event with a Hong Kong delegation. Macau's Chief Executive Sam Ho-fai will also appear at the opening ceremony. U.S. President Trump will exempt Hungary from sanctions, allowing it to continue buying Russian energy for at least 1 year. The deal was struck after Prime Minister Viktor Orban visited Washington. Orban is in the unusual position for a European leader of maintaining excellent relations with both Trump and Russia leader Vladimir Putin. David Garrett reports.
US President Trump calls Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban a great leader, a word in the ear of a man whose warm relationship Trump referenced during the US presidential debates. A European leader also close with Russia's Vladimir Putin.
President Trump, is there any chance you'll meet with Putin in Budapest at some point? Should Hungary be allowed to purchase Russian oil?
Great leader.
Inside, Orban had suggestions saying his country must be allowed to buy Russian energy without restrictions with winter approaching. Trump, together with Orban, who has been Prime Minister of the Eastern European country for 15 years.
A new chapter, let's say a golden age between the United States and Hungary, and we have plenty of suggestions for today: economic cooperation, military cooperation, and political cooperation. And the main issue, probably, President, you know, we are neighboring Ukraine.
Trump ready to consider leeway for a friend he described as powerful and beloved.
Because it's very difficult for him to get the oil and gas from other areas. As you know, they don't have the advantage of having sea. It's a great country. It's a big country, but they don't have sea. They don't have the ports. And so they have a difficult problem. So that question could be really asked maybe more accurately if you talked about many European countries, not Hungary necessarily, because Hungary is in a different position.
Orban, a critic of the EU's freedom of movement and its attitude towards Ukraine, where he says leaders prefer to continue the war.
He understands Putin and knows him very well. And I feel that, I mean, I'm going to let you say what you think, but I think that Victor feels we're going to get that war ended in the not too distant future. Victor, do you want to talk about that?
Well, I'm strongly convinced. So the question is whether we Westerners are unified or not. The problem is that the president has huge peace efforts, which are just splendid and very positive for the European continent and all the peoples of Europe. But at the same time, we are not unified because Brussels and the Europeans have a different approach.
Orban emerged post-discussion with his foreign minister having got what they came for. Talking to Hungarian journalists who joined the more than 200-strong delegation, Orban confirmed Trump agreed to give Budapest an exemption from sanctions imposed for buying Russian oil and gas. The Hungarian leader said it's not possible to provide energy to families and businesses if sanctions continue. We looked at it and asked Trump to lift them on two pipelines, one from the south, one from the east. The president decided, and we agreed the sanctions will not apply on these two lines. Orban's strong friendship with Putin and Trump continues. David Garrett, TVB News.
Storm Fengwang has been upgraded to severe typhoon status and is expected to move towards Luzon in the northern Philippines before entering the north of the South China Sea. Weather authorities believe Fengwang may enter Luzon as a super typhoon before reaching within 800 kilometers of Hong Kong on Monday and weaken to typhoon status in the subsequent 2 days. Regarding the possibility of the observatory issuing tropical cyclone or strong wind signals, weather authorities said they will need to assess the strength of Fengwang after it enters into the South China Sea. Secretary for Security Chris Tang and heads of the disciplinary forces urged their colleagues to vote in the Legislative Council election on December 7th. Apart from Tang, other officials, including Police Commissioner Zhou Chao and Immigration Director Benson Kwok, held a rally at the Discipline Services Sports and Recreation Club in Causeway Bay in the afternoon. They reminded members of the forces to perform their civic duty by voting on polling day. The Honor of Kings KPL Grand Finals has just been concluded in Beijing. With the booming esports industry in China, more young people are eager to turn gaming into a serious career. Industry insiders say they hope to strengthen cooperation with Hong Kong.
A gaming enthusiast since childhood, Liang Qifeng applied for esports degree programs after finishing secondary school, despite initial doubts from friends and parents.
你是体育生啊？你是学篮球的还是学足球？我说我是电竞的。
Now a bachelor student of esports management at Capital University of Physical Education and Sports, Liang says esports in some ways is more demanding than regular sports events in its management, requiring multiple decisions made within a single second. Fellow student Li Wangru also turns her gaming interest into a career, while challenging gender stereotypes in this male-dominated field. Leung aims to become a manager for esports athletes, while Li aims to specialize in tournament planning.
Li
says what people see during a match is just players battling it out on their screens, but behind that is a huge support system, equipment, venues, logistics, and pre-game preparation. An academic from the Capital University of Physical Education and Sports says China's esports scene is set to go global, and Hong Kong could play a key role in connecting the mainland to overseas markets. Professor Wang Qingwei, Dean of the University School of Management and Communication, says Hong Kong has what it takes to become an international esports hub with its international experience, strong digital infrastructure, and visa-free access for visitors from many parts of the world. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
And that's the news. And a reminder that news at 7:30 tomorrow will be back to 7:30. Thanks for watching.